Hello there, welcome to the news at 6. The news is live on Joy 99.7 FM, hits 103.9 FM in Accra, live in Kumasi on Love 99.5 FM, on Facebook live stream, and over 30 affiliates across Ghana's 16 regions. Go digital on Spotify and the myjoyonline.com app. Coming up, National Road Safety Authority rolls out major policy decision to clamp down on what it says are incessant high speed and overtaken by drivers of minibuses as it plans to restrict such vehicles to routes not exceeding 40 kilometers. In our Living Standard series, diabetic patients put their lives on the line by rationing their insulin due to escalating drug prices.
I have rationed my insulin to be able to make it extend longer than it would normally do because of the fact that there might not be money to be able to buy.
More nurses and midwives could be leaving the profession soon if government fails to honor its obligations and promises to them.
Our people are living in drought and they continue to live because there is no motivation to stay in Ghana.
We plead with the government to go back to the drawing table to boost our members' morale.
That's the warning by the Ghana registered nurses and midwives who are unhappy about the non-payment of COVID-19 insurance packages for frontline health workers. And later in business.
Cocoa Board intensifies fight against smuggling of subsidized fertilizer after stopping the theft of 15 trucks of fertilizer in Dodowa. We've got details on the Joy Business Report.
And musically putting faith to work.
You know, that was me believing in God, saying, God, this is how I want to see things. I see myself from Lagos to America. From Lagos to America.
We'll tell you all about how Patorankin's Aluberika song changed his life from poverty to wealth. These and more here on the news at 6 with me, Mamavi Owusu-Aboagye. Thanks for choosing us. Joy News, independent, fearless, and credible. We start with our Drive Safe campaign.
Safe driving saves lives. Drive safe.
The National Road Safety Authority has served notice it will restrict commercial operations of minibuses to intra-city services or routes not exceeding 40,000 kilometers. It follows complaints it says it has received from numerous road users, including the national security on the incessant high speed and reckless overtaking by drivers of minibuses on our major corridors, particularly the Kumasi-Accra Highway. Joseph Akablay has a copy of a statement by the authority and he joins me. Joseph, what more does it say?
And so, Mamavi, first, Accra to Budumbram, that is Liberia campus, about 37.4 kilometers. And so, if we are talking about a maximum of 40 kilometers, we are looking at that particular distance, a little beyond it. And without traffic, we are looking at between 46 to 50 minutes. And the statement indicates that in the wake of complaints, the authority held meetings with the GPRTU, OA Travel and Tours, and others on the affected routes, and then on the need to institute internal safety controls, including training and real-time tracking of their drivers to minimize the risk associated with unsafe practices. But that has not yielded much. It's one that without an immediate improvement in the quality of service, the high speed and reckless overtaking is dealt with. The authority will be compelled to initiate the necessary administrative protocols to impose such a restriction on the movement of their minibuses to intra-city services or on routes not exceeding 40 kilometers. And this is signed by the Acting Executive Director of the Road Safety Authority, David Safwa-Donting.
And that's Joseph Akablay with details of a directive issued by the National Road Safety Authority, which essentially is to restrict commercial operations of minibuses to intra-city services or routes not exceeding 40 kilometers if drivers do not check their speeding. Now, diabetic patients are rationing insulin to hang on to dear life following a weekly increase in insulin prices. Today's Living Standard series shares the story of Emanuela, a level 200 student of the University of Ghana, on her survival tips in a turbulent economy.
Emanuela, a type 1 diabetic, is in level 200 at the University of Ghana. She's back for the semester after recovering from a 3-month diabetic coma last year. She's now working hard to cope with academic work.
It's been extremely difficult because most often than not, my family is, especially my mom, is always calling me every single day, asking me about my health, whether I'm doing this or like whether I'm taking my medications and all.
Insulin is very vital to her survival, but the price keeps increasing.
Sometimes I have rationed my insulin to be able to like make it extend longer than it would normally do because of the fact that there might not be money to be able to like buy. And there have been days where like I have gone without taking insulin because there wasn't enough money.
The National Health Insurance Scheme covers only one type of insulin, but it doesn't suit all conditions. The situation has forced some patients to buy out of pocket. Emanuela is one of such. The situation is unbearable for her parents, who are also taking care of her 4 siblings.
I have to get, so it means I buy at least twice a month and at most 3 times every month. And that's just for the long acting.
And that's today's Living Standard series. The Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association is warning of further attrition in the profession if government fails to honor its obligations and promises to the profession. The group, which is questioning government's commitment to their welfare, say failure to release the insurance packages promised frontline workers during the peak of the COVID-19 pandemic will further dampen their spirits.
The major challenge is the insurance package the government promised all nurses and midwives, which stated that nurses and midwives who will be infected with the virus will be having or receiving insurance packages. As at now, we've not gotten any information from our members who had the COVID-19 of getting those insurance.
But when you go to the advanced areas in the developing countries, they are still recording even deaths when it comes to COVID. But for us, because of the work that we have put in as a service, they think that the COVID is over.
Voices of some nurses there. Now, General Secretary of the Association, David Tinkrine, says such disappointments is a major push factor for the high attrition.
Motivation is low, and it can form as one of the drivers of migration. And people are living in drought and they continue to live because there is no motivation to stay in Ghana. I mean, whatever you are even promised, it is not paid. Most of our people, when they fell sick, they had to take care of their own medical bills and the rest of it.
David Tinkrine is the General Secretary of the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association. Now, the WA Municipal Security Council is asking for more permanent security personnel to be stationed in the township following the killings of 9 persons since February this year. The Interior Minister and Inspector General of Police visited WA after tensions escalated with angry youth there targeting foreigners. 300 police officers have been deployed to maintain security in the municipality. Speaking to Joy News in an interview, Municipal Chief Executive for WAM, Alhaji Isahaku Tahiru Momen, said the area is battling with shortage of police personnel on the ground.
Yes, I think this morning I asked the Interior Minister this same question, whether these 305 people who are in this municipality are come to stay permanently or they want to help us temporarily and go back. So his answer was that he knows that there are shortage of policemen and women within the municipality, and they will work, and whatever it takes to bridge the gap, they will do it for us.
Municipal Chief Executive for WA, Alhaji Isahaku Tahiru Momen there. And the song Aluberika speaks of success, wealth and fame. Things Patoranking did not have when he wrote the song, but all that came when the song hits the airwaves. He's been speaking to Hits FM.
When I wrote Alubarika, I never had a passport. That was me putting faith to work. You know, that was me believing in God, saying, God, this is how I want to see things. I see myself from Lagos to America. You know, I see myself record label, record deal and all those things. You know, I've moved from nothing to something. But when I wrote the song, I was still in the era of nothing. And the minute the song came out, everything changed.
And that's Patoranking talking about how his hit song changed the rest of his life. And that's how we end the news at 6. Our top headline: the National Road Safety Authority rolls out major policy decision to clamp down on what it says are incessant high speed and overtaken by drivers of minibuses, as it plans to restrict such vehicles to routes not exceeding 40 kilometers. Log on to myjoyonline.com for more news. My name is Mamavi Owusu-Aboagye.